Now let's talk about overcoming evil first. Now if you want to overcome evil, you got to first know about the presence of evil. All right? The presence of evil as... Do you think you sense the presence of evil as fallen people? No, the answer is no. Straight no. We don't sense the presence of evil as fallen people. But in actual fact, there is an evil force that goes against God, against God's will. They are deceiving fallen angels, working against the truth of God. They are spirits of untruths, deceiving spirit. Okay, we call them, that's why the father of lies, it's Satan, am I right? The father of lies. We know that. And they work, when they work against the truth of God, they similarly work against the will of God. And the very first thing they did to men is to tempt them to sin. I mean, it's not a very grievous sin, if you just going to measure it by human terms. It's not as if Satan tempted Eve to murder his husband. No. Just that little sin of disobedience, and they are reduced to one that falls short of the glory of God. And with that, man was deceived, and he is reduced to Romans 3:23, short of the glory of God. Now, look at us as human beings. Are we glorious? Look at me. My looks. Look at you, your intellect, wisdom, anything, everything, morality. Do we in any way resemble the apes, the animals? No. We are truly people made in the image of God. We are still glorious, even when we have fallen. But we have lost the most glorious part of us. And that is as a reflector of God's glory. You got what I mean? When God created Adam and Eve, He created them in the image of God. Now, after we have fallen, look at us, we are still different from the animals. Our looks, our morality, everything, things that we do, but understand that we have lost the very glory that God had put in us originally. And that is to reflect His glory, lift out His love, His righteousness, His holiness, His abundance. Now, we have lost that. We have lost that. So right now, with all the goodness that we have done, we don't attribute it to His goodness. With all the things that we've invented, right? We invented many things, but we don't attribute that to His wisdom. You get what I mean? So we have fallen short of the glory of God. No matter how glorious we are, how smart, how intellectual, how much morality we have, we're still short of that glory of God. You see, and that is sin. Now, you have been put out of position, put out of purpose. And this is the state of man in sin. Not living the very will of God to glorify Him.